Hello, my name is Matthew Perkins, and today I'd like to talk about Dungeons and Dragons. That's right, both of them. I want to talk about my character sheets that I made for kids and beginners today, so let's just take a quick look at it first. It's got all the shapes and bits of a character sheet, all the right anatomy. In the top left, you've got a character portrait. In the bottom, you've got dice diagrams for new players. But in between, you've got your skills, you've got your attacks, you've got your abilities, they're all there, all the stuff. Right out of the gate, this beginner sheet answers the question, hey, what is Dungeons and Dragons and how do you play it? And it just explains that it's an imagination game and that you roll d20s. Down the bottom, this diagram of all the dice and the shapes, that's so that the players can physically put each dice on the label and it'll just help them remember them in their first session. After the first session, they won't need it, I'm sure. But this is actually color-coded to the Dice of Rolling, which was a really cool Kickstarter, something I've been meaning to pick up. I think experienced RPG players sometimes lack a little bit of empathy for what it's like to be a new player. Because new players, even adult ones, will not remember the names of the dice. I grew up with only one dice, one true dice to rule them all. And I tell you what, it was a cube. It was a cube dice, and I loved it. Every game had cubes all the way down. It was a simpler time. This beginner character sheet is designed to take you from level 1 to level 3. And at that point, you should graduate to a regular sheet, whatever your choice is. Like I said in the previous video, this character sheet is meant to shift the burden of math from the player to the DM. So the DM does a little bit more heavy lifting in that first session just to get new players and kids orientated. To that end, I've completely removed ability scores and ability modifiers because the DM should boil them into the pregen that they make for their characters. Although I have already made pregens for every class. That's 12 of them, or 11. I don't know how many classes there are. I just made pregens until I didn't have to make them anymore. But they're all done. They're all there. They'll take your character from level 1 to level 3, and all the abilities already pre-written on there. They're all Adventurers League legal as well. So you can, if you're allowed to bring custom character sheets to Adventurers League, I don't know, never played it. I played it once. This concept of a multi-level pregen, it's just something I stole from the starter set, where those characters would take you from level 1 to level 5 on a single sheet. That was really, really handy when I was learning how to play. All the skills are listed alphabetically. There's a little box there in case you have disadvantage. I haven't paired up the skills to an ability score modifier because I haven't listed ability scores here, like I said earlier. There's a big section for health because it's good to be able to scratch that out and tally it up or whatever you need to do. Scribble space in there. Saving throws, they're just saving throws. There's an exhaustion tracker and a death saving throw thing. Yeah, that's all there. There are 3 slots for hit dice, and it tells you what your con mod is there because you actually need it. It's an actionable number. There are 2 kinds of sheets. There's one with spells and one without spells because fighters don't get spells. They've only allowed enough space for the spell slots that you actually unlock. And on the pregens, it has a little symbol. So at level 1 or at level 2, and tells you when you unlock that spell slot. All the pregens also have spell cards with them. So all the spells that you unlocked, I've pre-selected them and I've pre-prepared them. So you can just print out this sheet of spell cards and you can have them on hand with the actual text from the book. In the inventory bit, or inventory, one of those words, there's only space for gold pieces because frankly, it's the only currency that I care about. And I've never found an Electrum piece, and if I did, I would probably think it wouldn't be legal tender. I think what new players need to learn the game is a whole lot of empathy, patience, and forgiveness, because they're going to make mistakes, and that's okay. It's okay to let them make mistakes as well. As long as they're having fun and they get a feel for the game, you can correct and round off those rough edges after the session, explain rules a little bit better, but the technical nitty-gritty stuff, because as long as they get in the shape of the game, that's fine. That's fine in the first session, for me at least, especially for kids. If you do want to know how to run a game for kids specifically, there's a great video by Dawnforged Cast, and that's what I watched to get my nieces and nephews through the game, and they had a blast. It was real fun. I am pretty proud that all the art on this is completely drawn by me. I've also redrawn all the art on my advanced character sheets. I haven't changed the layout at all. Maybe I'll do a preview of that sometime as well. But for now, this is all similar art assets, and I'm really happy with it. I got up my graphics tablet, I drew them all. Yeah, I think I'm going to practice drawing a bit more. I've been watching a lot of Runehammer. Every Saturday morning, he gets on his stream and he draws. I'll link to Runehammer. He's probably down here. But every Saturday morning he draws, and it's so relaxing to watch. He's got a great attitude, and I wish I had a great attitude, but instead I'm a bloody mongrel. But in the end, that is the end, because that's the end of the video. This one took a little while to actually make. It took a week longer than I thought because I broke my mic. My mic broke, it stopped working. But what it needed to be fixed was just a week and a whole lot of brain power and me worrying about whether I'm going to have to spend money. And I didn't spend money, I waited. And then I used brute strength and ignorance to force the cable in. And it doesn't come out so easy, but it works now. Isn't that a stupid problem to have? Oh, my mic didn't work because I didn't plug it in properly. Yeah, top men. I've got a few ideas for future videos. One of them is on a wild sheep chase, which is my favorite book by Haruki Murakami. And it's also a great adventure by Winghorn Press. Let me just double check their name. I'm going to look it up right now on Twitter. Yeah, it's Winghorn Press. They're great. It's my favorite adventure to run. I'll show you how to run it. There's also some spell cards, the same ones that are included in the pregens in this download, and they took a long time to make. There's 400 of them, but I'll go through the drafting process for that one because it's a little bit interesting. A whole lot of revisions. I also made an initiative tracker, so I'll go through that. So there's like 3 ideas in the works. Oh, I also want to do... No, I'll save that one for later. I'll tell you later. That one's going to be fun. But that's the end. That's the end of the video. Thanks for watching. Sorry for the delay, but you're not going to care about delay. There's like 30 of you watching. What are the stakes here, Perkins? None. Anyway, love you dearly. Have a lovely... You're doing good. You're doing good.